as we will have the 5 red lights on here in Tier 1. And they're out and away we go as Nis leads us down into turn 1. Rio's gotten a decent start. Everyone's gotten away clean as Rio lagging through turn 1. Little bit of desync is in the background. Some contact with the McLaren and the Saubers as there's a yellow flag around. Big crash in the midfield. 4 cars involved, maybe even 5 cars involved. And have they all survived? No, I don't think they have. Big contacts, Godzilla involved. Yellow flags are out as major carnage through the back of the pack. Hitman down to P14. Kodamatic in the wars. Is a little bit of contact with Mallard there with Kodamatic as well, as Mallard going to get round the outside of Kodamatic, and Kodamatic contact with Mallard and the Haas spinning, but what a carnage. Opening lap there, Star down to P11. The V-Carb driver as the Mercedes driver going to look on the outside as they go side by side through the left-hander. And is there going to be contact? Rio leaves the road still side by side. Is the Mercedes and the V-Carb still side by side? We go on board with Trixie as they're still side by side. Oh, and Rio, bit of contact with the V-Carb as the V-Carb forces him out, allows Trixie through on the inside of Rio as side by side they go through the left-hander. Rio still there, more contact with Rio involved. The V-Carbs just barging their way through as Rio back side by side with Nis, and into the wall goes Rio, and damage for Rio as Cookie goes through, and Rio having a coming together with Nis that just seemed inevitable. Those two were side by side for so long there, and Rio ended up going wide into the wall. He seems to be parking it here, defending for his teammate as Cookie going to dive it down the inside. Cookie side by side with Nis, and Cookie could get through as side by side Nis and Cookie going still side by side, and around goes Cookie, and damage for Echo, major damage for Echo as Cookie rejoining the racing line. Time of things as Hassan right over the rear of the McLaren driver. Can he get through on the McLaren into turn 1? Surely Echo's going to have to back out of this battle as Hassan gets through. Echo carrying the damage there as Echo through and tie clear out of the race, and that could be a safety car, and it's a VSC tie. I don't know how he's bent it there, and who will benefit from this VSC restart we will see, as will it be going green soon.
I am stupid.
As Nis heavy on the brakes, and Rio with a lovely overtake as Nis had to get so hard on the brakes to stay under the delta, and Rio timed it beautifully, and up into P2 goes Rio despite his end plate missing, as Ali right on the rear of the Mercedes. Will he look for the move? He might do as Echo TJ sends it on Echo. Ali looking for the switchback. We're 3 wide. Please don't be 3 wide. Echo backs out smartly. Wants to survive. This is contact between Ali and TJ. And Echo watching this battle along as Ali gets through into P7. Both Echo and Star carrying some significant damage. But who can get through is Ali down the inside of TJ. And Ali through as TJ's around in contact. And it's a big more damage for many drivers involved. Echo with more damage. I think Star involved again. And Rio, is he back inside range? Can Cookie go for a late send on the Mercedes? Down into the chicane. Is he close enough behind? Rio goes defensive as Cookie tries to shape for a move. Rio goes deep though. Can it allow a switchback through the final corners? Cookie round the inside of the next corner. Side by side they go. Cookie, and Cookie's around, and Rio involved, and this off in the wall. 3 of the top 4 off in the wall, and major contact between Rio, Cookie and Nis, and Hassan has been gifted a position here in the Alpine. An absolute demolition derby here in Singapore. Absolute carnage, and Trixie has been gifted a massive lead here in Singapore. Trixie 4 seconds now. Rio with big damage in the background. Cookie loses it at turn 5, and it's a safety car. Full blown safety car. That's going to save so many drivers' races, including Rio Harris, who will get his front wing fixed. But Cookie out of the race. We chat about Swiss roll. The race is about to roll on again as Gordon's going to get a safety car restarted here, as Trixie going to try and time his restart, and the gap between the field is already quite close despite Gordon bunching up the pack pretty closely here as Trixie into turn 1. May look for the move on Gordon. Side by side they go at turn 1, and Gordon keeps it just ahead of Trixie, but Trixie all over the rear now. Is Rio going to try and get involved in this battle as well? Gordon on the much older hard tyres is going to not really be able to defend this too well, and Trixie already through as Gordon goes a bit wide. May open the door to Rio Harris now on the rear as Rio going to get through. Side by side he goes with Gordon down to turn 5. Rio already ahead as Gordon going to filter in behind, and Ali looking on the rear of his teammate Gordon, but Gordon keeps ahead now as Nis, a Star all battling in the midfield. Nis gets ahead of Hassan, Star through on Thori, and Gordon down the order, and Gordon losing out to Ali and TJ as Mallard involved here, and they just need to survive as Echo on the rear almost pushing Mallard through, and Mallard up in P5 having a very strong out, and Gordon backs out as Echo gets through, who have been battling ferociously so far as Echo now on the inside of Mallard. Side by side they go into the chicane, leaves the track, does TJ, and Ali gets through into P2. That's Rio leaving the track, Ali up into P2 as Rio now down to P3, leaves the track there. Star right on the rear of Berlin, going to look for the exit as he heads through the right-hander. Star and Berlin side by side they go, and Berlin almost forced off into the wall, and Hassan gets the switchback on Berlin here. Can Thori mount a challenge as well as Ness on the rear of Gordon, and contact from Nis, damage from Nis there as Gordon gets punted in the rear. Star dives it on the inside of as Berlin dives it on Thori or Hassan. I can't even quite tell what's happening at the moment. And can Hassan work his magic on the Williams driver? Star flashing on the rear. Hassan going to lock down the inside of the Williams driver, and Hassan through on Star, but he did have his wing fixed earlier, which gives him some extra grip as Hassan now down the inside of Mallard at the chicane. Side by side they go in contact between the Alpine and the Williams. Is Star going to try and get through here as Mallard side by side he goes with the Alpine as the Alpine breaks, and Star catches the rear of the Alpine. Did Star pick up any damage? He's going to try and get through on Mallard, and does just that. Nis watching this battle as Hassan through on Mallard. Will he benefit from the undercut here? We'll wait and see. Ali exiting the pit lane now, and Rio about to chuck it through turn 1 as side by side he'll be with the Sauber driver as they exit the box, and Rio Harris through on the Sauber. The undercut has worked for the Mercedes driver, and the Mercedes driver now up into a net P2 as TJ picks up a 3-second time penalty, and now it's an even battle as Gordon retires in the pit lane. It's an even battle between Star and TJ. And into the braking zone they go. Star later on the brakes, and into P5 he goes, and Star, despite being involved in the wars, the DRS finally disabled here as Star gets that move. Get on win with another 3-second time penalty as Berlin and Thori battle, and a lovely switch back on the cards from Thori. Can he get it to stick? Berlin sending it through, and goes deep as well as Thori looking for another switchback. Berlin trying his best to defend this battle as Thori losing the rear, and Berlin going deep again, and Thori looking for another switchback on the rear of the Aston, but unable to get ahead. As Nis joining this battle, as Nis going to try and get through, and Mallard a little bit deep, as Nis now going to try and out-traction him through. As side by side they go. Mallard on the inside, Nis on the outside, and Mallard losing out here as Nis dives around the outside. Can Mallard get back ahead of the V-Carb as he's flashing on the rear? And Mallard looks around the outside as Nis keeps it ahead. And David through on turn 5. Oh, we switched the wrong bloody car as Nis picks up a 3-second time penalty. Star and Echo go side by side down to turn 7. And Star has made the move stick on the McLaren. Rio Harris, and then into the wall he went to turn 5 but on his own as Hitman down the inside of TJ, and a lovely move from the Ferrari as Godzilla battles with the Ferrari. Kodomatic going to look down the inside of the Ferrari as well as Kodomatic forces Stephen off track. The Red Bull, a little bit of damage or a little bit of contact with the rear of Stephen as well as Stephen drops down a place. I don't think the Williams has done enough, and I think Ali may have it. We'll keep an eye, but we're going to move up to Trixie, who has been having the most comfortable race of his life, and Trixie now rounds the final corner and wins a WHF for the first time. A major win for Trixie, won in comfortable fashion. He avoided all the drama. Meanwhile, Rio Harris will finish in P2. Ali in P3 as he crosses the line, may get his first podium in WHF. And yes, he does. He finishes at a star as Eka will drop behind Hassan, who gets P5 on debut.